Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson collector, and this week I am here to talk about some books that I recently traded for. Now, all of these books that I'm going to talk about are ones that I have been looking for online since, well, I knew they existed. One of them I didn't actually know it existed for very long, but I was still looking for it, and so I couldn't find them online anywhere, and so when people had them available for trade, I jumped on those trades. And so this, I guess, illustrates that that's another way to get your books. And yes, before we get started, also here is Ark, as I guess is obligatory now. I have to show him off because he's absolutely adorable. He's right here, causing havoc, being himself, growing, being a big boy. He's awesome. But enough of that. To talk about some other Arks, the first one is one that I traded for with another Sanderson collector that I actually got to meet earlier this year. Really nice guy. And this is an advanced reader copy of Writers of the Future, Volume 34. And it's actually really hard to tell that this is an Ark because it looks just like the regular version on the cover and even on the spine. And the only way to actually tell is to look at the back, where it says Advanced Reader Edition and has all the publication information there. So kudos to the guy who actually spotted this. I am kind of in awe that he managed to figure out that there were Arks and find one. And for those who do not know, this has an excerpt, The Lesson, which is a chapter from The Way of Kings, where Shallan and Yasna are out in the city and there's an alleyway and some other stuff, and so that is just kind of reprinted in here as part of this volume. And apparently they made an arc of this one, and I'm able to get a hold of one, which is really exciting. And the next arc that I was able to get a hold of was The Bands of Mourning, which is another one that is very, very hard to find online. Shadows of Self and Alloy of Law, they appear to have made more arcs and maybe put in more effort, because those two arcs have the cover art on them, and Bands of Mourning came out right after Shadows of Self, so I guess it didn't get as much hype from the hype machine, or as many arcs made, or as high quality of arcs made, so they've been harder to find. And I was super glad to find someone who had one for trade. And as part of that trade, I also got this hardcover of Infinity Blade Awakening, which is also something I've been searching for many years. And it is signed by Brandon right here. And this is one of 200 copies that they made, and I believe sold at Gen Con one year, not too long after the novella came out between Infinity Blade games 1 and 2. And so this means I now had the set of all of the Infinity Blades that I know exist, basically, which is right here. And that is the hardcover of Infinity Blade Awakening, and the hardcover of Infinity Blade Redemption, the proof paperback of Infinity Blade Awakening, and then the not actually sold paperback of Infinity Blade Redemption. And so that is really nice to have this set done, with the exception of like one weird little con exclusive that I've never seen in person. That means I believe I actually have all of the US hardcovers of, get out of there, all of the US hardcovers of Sanderson stuff. Previously I had, all the novels and whatnot. Now I've got the novellas, and these Infinity Blade ones are just getting harder and harder to find. It's a pity, actually. You can't really read the novellas very easily anymore, even, because the games have essentially ceased to exist. The studio that made them, Chair, is part of the company that now makes Fortnite, and Fortnite has become so much more popular that Infinity Blade basically fell by the wayside, and they've actually pulled the games from the game store. You can't even buy them anymore to get that part of the story. You're going to have to, if you want to catch up on it, watch those, like a playthrough online or whatever. and if there's not any good playthroughs, I could actually go and make one because I've played all the games. I actually played them before Brandon was announced to do the stories. And so with that, they also have appeared to taken down the Kindle versions of the novellas, and so it's just kind of really hard to get a hold of them and read them. Interestingly, they're available in other languages, like here is the French bind-up that has both of them in it, and I have the Spanish language versions over there, and I believe there's one or two other languages where they've been published. I think I saw an edition in Chinese recently, which hopefully I'll have to show off soon. So they're available in other languages if you read those other languages, but the US rights are not available, and so it's really hard to get them. I'm super excited to have this whole set. The way it happened, Get out from behind those books. He saw me put the Infinity Blade book back and started trying to climb up on the shelf because, well, he's a cat, and that's what cats do. So anyway, Ark is saying hi for a second time. Hi, camera. Yeah, you're a cute little rascal. Now, what I was saying is, in order to get these books, the trade that I made for the Infinity Blade Awakening hardcover and the Bands of Mourning Ark was I traded away the Mistborn Final Empire Ark that I showed off a couple of videos ago. So I no longer have that, and I'm going to need to hunt another one of those down. However, these were two that I wasn't sure that I could find anywhere online. And, you know, Mistborn is, I guess, such a well-known Sanderson novel that there will be people who find them and sell them. It'll be expensive to get another one, but I believe it'll be able to, you know, I can do it someday. So I was okay trading that one off. And this gets me closer to collection completion because it's two really hard to find things. So I was okay making that trade. And so I'm now back to looking for a Mistborn Ark and telling my Ark to behave. And so I have more books to show off. I've got like stacks of foreign editions here and other printings and stuff that I need to get caught up on. I've been busy taking care of this boy, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I have not been spending as much time thinking about what to talk about for my videos recently. I think most of the slump is probably because my brain space is just dedicated to the cute little kitty, but well, I've been in a bit of a slump. I'm trying to get out of it and, you know, go ahead and put out just videos showing off the books because I've got a lot of cool ones to show you. So here's the video for this week, and I will very hopefully have another one next week about another couple of arcs and other books that I've gotten. And we'll see y'all next week. Mark and Ark out.